Is there much left to impress investors heading into next year? Here to take on that question, Tom Lee of Fundstrat. He joins me at Post 9, also a CNBC contributor. Tom, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, great to see you, Mike.
So we can stack up all the positives. I mean, I know you've been kind of in gear with that idea that the economy would power through, inflation would come down, the Fed could become friendlier, earnings are going higher. Big question to me is, how do we set expectations for the year to come, given that that's all in the books?
It's a great question because, we have two back-to-back 20% years, and now investors are wondering how much good news is baked in. But if we look at the 2025 environment, it's a great setup because we have a new administration coming in that's maybe pro-animal spirits, a Trump put. We have a dovish Fed, and as you're pointing out, interest rates are kind of calming down after rising. And we know there's still $7 trillion of cash on the sidelines, and I think sentiment's coming back into check. You mentioned that before with the AAII numbers. So I think it's a good setup for investors. I wouldn't be too worried about the next 12 months.
So don't be too worried. I mean, it seems as if there are all these supportive factors, and when you mentioned the 20% up years in a row, history says actually, the following year is up more often than not as well. What do you mean, do you think, specifically by the new administration being pro-animal spirits? First of all, it's true.
Yeah.
You've kind of seen it at work. It seems to pull in that direction, but are there specifics that the market is fixated on that it's going to drive that dynamic?
Yes, I think that the market's trying to figure out exactly how this animal spirits plays out in markets, but I would say we've got a Treasury Secretary that equity markets approve of. We do know that the last Trump presidency cared very much about what stock prices do, and Jeremy Siegel said this is the most stock market-focused president ever. And I think that the uncertainty is around trade and the potential risks around tariffs, but we'll have to see. I mean, that's something markets are going to have to deal with it from an uncertainty perspective.
It's interesting to me that, the way the market has behaved in the last several weeks, but even going into the election, was we need to own more cyclicals. We need to own more financial stocks. We're going to reprice this market for maybe a growth acceleration even, or at least maintaining above trend growth. Meanwhile, though, we're only a couple months removed from a pretty big growth scare. Job growth has kind of slowed to a point. The housing market seems pretty locked up. It's kind of interesting how the sentiment has kind of jumped ahead. Is the economic numbers positioned to actually validate that view?
Markets tend to be forward-looking, so I would expect this. I know there has been a recession in durable goods and in housing and auto sales, principally because of high rates, which have made affordability an issue. That's really on the come next year. I mean, I think the spread of 10 years and mortgages should come down, and the 10-year hopefully behaves. And I think if there's more confidence and more supply, I think housing actually could lead this recovery. I mean, I think that's why home builders actually.
As Apple and Microsoft hover around a $4 trillion market capitalization, Nvidia, a name known with high-end GPUs and artificial intelligence, is poised to seize the lead in a market full of industry titans. At least according to market analysts, Nvidia is poised to overtake them all. The company's most recent product, the Blackwell GPU architecture, is expected to redefine industry standards and spark excitement in the tech sector. But what exactly makes Nvidia the dark horse in this race? Let's take a closer look at this developing story. So, what implications does this have for Nvidia's stock? Let's explore that. But first, a big thank you to those of you who've stuck with us this far. Creating these videos takes significant effort and dedication. So if you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts on Nvidia stock in the comments. Your support truly helps us grow. Now let's get back to the video.
Still a supportive environment, and pretty much all the things you can identify would suggest you shouldn't be too worried about next year. The second question is something like the S&P 500 the best vehicle to capitalize on that?
I think investors are still trying to figure this out. We did a survey with our institutional investors and our RIA clients last week. The majority of institutional investors don't think FANG is the leading trade. They're actually betting on cyclicals. But if you look at the RIA world, the majority are betting on FANG. So I think the market is still undecided whether to be long the Mag 7 or the cyclicals. I'm inclined to be more cyclical and bet even on small cap.
In the grand theater of the stock market, as the market is humming with new developments, Nvidia's story captivates viewers with a hint of suspense and intrigue. The plot twist can be as unpredictable and wild as a bull in a china shop, and Nvidia appears to be that bull at the moment, a giant racing towards an ambitious $4 trillion market cap. However, how exactly does Nvidia intend to reach this enormous figure before its tech rivals, which include Apple and Microsoft? The secret is in the word Blackwell, which is derived from the groundbreaking GPU architecture. Nvidia's Blackwell is a technological marvel that promises to run trillion-parameter big language models at up to 25 times lower cost and energy than the preceding Hopper architecture. The CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang, called the demand for this chip crazy, and industry insiders haven't indicated that they're changing their minds. To stay informed about the latest developments from Nvidia and the ever-changing stock market, consider subscribing to our investing tutorial channel. We provide daily updates on significant market shifts and key catalysts, so hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss crucial information. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Nvidia stock, so please share your opinions in the comments below. Now, let's dive into today's video. In the grand theater of the stock market, as the market is humming with new developments, Nvidia's story captivates viewers with a hint of suspense and intrigue. The plot twist can be as unpredictable and wild as a bull in a china shop, and Nvidia appears to be that bull at the moment, a giant racing towards an ambitious $4 trillion market cap. However, how exactly does Nvidia intend to reach this enormous figure before its tech rivals, which include Apple and Microsoft? The secret is in the word Blackwell, which is derived from the groundbreaking GPU architecture. Nvidia's Blackwell is a technological marvel that promises to run trillion-parameter big language models at up to 25 times lower cost and energy than the preceding Hopper architecture. The CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang, called the demand for this chip crazy, and industry insiders haven't indicated that they're changing their minds. To stay informed about the latest developments from Nvidia and the ever-changing stock market, consider subscribing to our investing tutorial channel. We provide daily updates on significant market shifts and key catalysts, so hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss crucial information. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Nvidia stock, so please share your opinions in the comments below. Now, let's dive into today's video.
This is another buying opportunity in our view. 2024 has proven to be a year where the market's been strong and it has eluded many opportunities for sustained weakness. I know yesterday's pullback was really painful, but to us, I think the fundamental supporting stocks are intact, and I think it's a good opportunity for investors here.
A good opportunity for investors. Jeff, I take it that you feel is differently putting it too strong?
Well, I don't disagree with Tom on the fundamental side of it, but I think if you look at where we're at with the interest rates, what's on the horizon from taxes, tariffs, and deficits, I really have to be considerate of what happened yesterday. It was the second largest move in the VIX we have seen. And historically speaking, Kelly, Tom is right. A month after that spike in the VIX, you see the S&P 500 higher. However, I don't think we can lean on history here due to the fact that we've seen stretched valuations in the top 10 names of the S&P 500. We've also seen just a straight line up. If you look in the last 2 years, back-to-back years of above 25%, we've become conditioned that the market's just going to continue to move higher, thanks by and large to the Fed dovishness and their $7 trillion balance sheet. So I'm looking, I know Tom wants to back up the truck here. I have the truck running, but I'm not ready to back it up yet. I want to see this more process, reset valuations. I think that's going to be the next couple months, possibly the first quarter, because we've become too conditioned, Kelly, to markets repricing in a day. I have to go back to my 30-year career and understand that we will see reset valuations more of a quarter or two.
The euphoria about Blackwell coincides with what many see to be a downturn for Microsoft and Apple, with a survey from Sell.com showing that 73% of iPhone users felt the AI added little value. Apple's latest generative AI capabilities haven't sparked the desired upgrade frenzy. Meanwhile, despite a potentially strong showing for Microsoft, they are skeptical of its ability to propel to market dominance with its upcoming releases. This creates the opportunity for Nvidia's Blackwell to shine. According to Beth Kindig from IO Fund, Nvidia's shares could skyrocket by 70% in 2025. While that is a bold prediction, it aligns with broader expectations that Nvidia will reach and possibly surpass the $4 trillion valuation, possibly eyeing $5.6 trillion. With analysts uniting behind this vision, Nvidia is no longer just a tech company. It's evolving into a company building tomorrow's technology today. If Nvidia's Q1 forecasts and sales match these expectations, we might witness a historic climbing valuation. In the midst of all this, even investors who might normally play it safe are considering investing in Nvidia because missing out on this chip boom feels like missing out on the launch of Windows 95 or the original iPhone. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.
Say you saw signs of capitulation yesterday as it was a 90% down day.
I did, Tyler. As context, the market has been bleeding lower. If you look at internals for the last 10 days, yesterday looks capitulatory because not only did we have a 90% down day, but the VIX, the spot VIX, exploded by 75%. There's only 4 times in history where it's risen 60% in a day. So yesterday was the 5th time in its 35-year history. Of those 4 times, the market recovered all of its losses within a week, 3 out of the 4 times. The 4th time it took a month. So I think what you had was people panicking to get out of what they thought was a momentum trade that's ending because we're so close to year end. But here's the interesting thing. The forward VIX futures curve barely moved. So it was almost as if people were seeking protection.
As we conclude this intriguing story, it is evident that Nvidia is on the verge of something potentially historic. With Apple and Microsoft momentarily stalling, it may be easier for Nvidia to move quickly forward. The current position of their stock, while not a guarantee of future performance, reflects an underlying expectation of monumental growth led by the Blackwell architecture. If Nvidia capitalizes on this momentum, its valuation is not only set to reach $4 trillion, but it may also break additional records and approach $5 trillion in the stock market. Such a journey transforms technology rather than only altering portfolios, landscapes that meet the expectations of both investors and consumers. But how do you think Nvidia can maintain this pace and achieve these incredible heights? The stock market may be unpredictable, but that's what keeps us interested and involved in the stories as they develop. We'd love to hear your thoughts and predictions. Lastly, if you want to know what Nvidia and other companies have been up to lately, click the next video on your screen, and we'll see you there.